behind the scenes undercover video capturing a Biden official saying that Biden's absolutely losing it and Kamala's a disaster. We'll share that with you. Also, the president of Mexico with some remarks this week about Joe Biden's border shenanigans has been receiving very little attention in the press. We'll give it some attention here. You're going to want to hear this. It's all ahead. But before we get there, election meddling here in the United States being done by a number of Democrat prosecutors. Among them is the Fulton County District Attorney, Fanni Willis. She really is something. And for more on what's going on in her life right now, I want to bring in Andrew Kerr. He's an investigative reporter for the Washington Free Beacon, and he joins us now. Andrew, good to talk to you as always, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Vince.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Fanni Willis, and man, it seems like everything about her life is some sort of disaster right now. And here's another one that you're reporting on. It involves a whistleblower on her staff who started raising concerns about the misuse of federal funds. What can you tell us?
Right. So the whistleblower, her name is Amanda Timpson. She was a director of juvenile diversion, so she worked with troubled kids, trying to veer them to away from the criminal system. And her direct manager was a former Willis campaign aide named Michael Cuffey. And Timpson says that when Cuffey was talking about taking funds from this federal youth gang prevention grant, he wanted to take the funds to pay for swag, computers, and travel. Timpson says that she told him, we can't do that. That's not what the grant is for. That's illegal. And she says that at that point, Cuffey took her off the project and she started to get retaliated against.
Huh.
She also discovered that a youth or a junior district attorney program it's federally funded program that is designed for public school middle schoolers in the Atlanta area. She discovered in the 2021 cohort that there were students from out of state, a student from Wisconsin, for example, that I was able to confirm partook in this program. So again, she said, "Hey, we've got ineligible students participating in this taxpayer-funded program. They're not allowed to be participating in this." And she says that she was further retaliated against and demoted to file clerk. So fast forward to November of 2021, Timpson says that she saw the writing on the wall that she was getting retaliated against. She's like, I need evidence. I need to record myself. So she clicked a recorder on and accosted Fanni Willis and said, "Hey, I'm being retaliated against. Your guy was saying that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible, and then he took me off projects." And Fanni astonishingly said, "I respect your assessment, and I'm not saying your assessment is wrong." But the kicker is that 56 days later, Fanni Willis abruptly fired this whistleblower, Timpson, and had her escorted out of the building by 7 armed investigators.
Wow.
Yeah, so Timpson has filed a slew of lawsuits. This has been sitting out here since August of 2022. So for almost 2 years now, evidence of this recording has been out there. And, I'm the first one with the Free Beacon's the first one to actually publish it. And it's just, it's quite astonishing to hear the district attorney admit that, there's misappropriation going on, but I'm going to fire you anyway.
All right, I want people to hear this because this is the audio that Andrew Kerr is talking about, the Washington Free Beacon giving this necessary attention today. Here's Fanni Willis in 2021. The voices will be Fanni and then Amanda Timpson as well, talking about the misuse of federal funds in their office.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about respectfully and in an email about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the the county, all this. Took me off junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
Just remind me, you said it earlier, what was Michael Cuffey's relationship to Fanni Willis before?
He was her social media manager during her political campaign. So she thanked him by name during her victory speech in 2020. And then she brought him over to her office to serve as a manager.
Okay, so and then he was a campaign operative for her, and then he starts working in her office, and by this allegation is misusing federal funding in order to buy MacBooks and go on vacations. And the grant writer herself is saying, I know, I wrote the grant. You're not allowed to do this. And he's doing it anyway. Here's a little bit more between Fanni Willis and the whistleblower here, Miss Timpson.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR because he put Dexter's name on my PDP, and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. Mm-hmm. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
Uh-huh. So that's fascinating. And what this demonstrates, to a meaningful extent, Andrew Kerr, is that allegations about misusing taxpayer funding have run rampant in her office. They just haven't received much attention until now.
Right. Yeah. So this comes as Willis is under fire for allegedly misusing taxpayer funds to finance her affair with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. So to Timpson's point is that this is a pattern. This is, there's many similarities between what I experienced and getting punished for trying to, call attention to this and what she's doing with Nathan Wade, which is, to me, just, the arrogance of Fanni Willis is just astonishing.
Yes.
She's going after Donald Trump. He plays very dirty. Everybody knows this. And if you're going after a guy like Donald Trump, you have to be perfect. You can't have any blemishes because he can and will exploit that. So for her to operate like this, and the crazy thing here is that when Timpson filed her first lawsuit against Willis in August of 2022, it made clear that we've got this recording. She quoted from it. Fanni Willis has known about this recording for almost 2 years now, and yet she's still did everything that she did with Nathan Wade, just knowing that she's got these skeletons in the closet, that all it's going to take is for someone to just reach out and talk to this whistleblower. And well, now here we are. So
yes.
It's just the arrogance is really quite astonishing.
Right. And it's also a sign that typically when people get away with things like this in the past, they continue to do them in the future. And that's what seems to be happening here. Now, on that Nathan Wade case, again, this is the prosecutor that she hired who had no record whatsoever that would dictate that he would be on a case like this. But as we understand it, he's allegedly her lover, Nathan Wade. He's in the midst of a messy divorce case right now. His spurned wife has been really making all parties miserable here because she's trying to expose the finances that are involved here, that Nathan Wade has been receiving an immense amount of money from Fanni Willis, paid for by taxpayers. She'd like her piece of it, I presume. And today we get an update. Nathan Wade was supposed to testify today in a hearing for his divorce case. That was upended last night when all of a sudden it appears that he and his wife have reached a settlement agreement, meaning somebody just cut a big check to Nathan Wade's wife. I don't know who it was. I assume it's supposed to be Nathan Wade. There's a lot of assumptions built in here. But it seems like all of a sudden the pieces are starting to move here, Andrew Kerr, to try and snuff out this obviously growing scandal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's quite convenient that they were able to resolve that, the evening before the scheduled testimony. But, Fanni, the problems keep on piling up. On Friday, she has a deadline to respond to the county commissioners that are running an audit. They want her to come clean about these allegations of misusing funds. On February 15th, Willis and Wade were subpoenaed today to testify in a motion to disqualify them from the Trump case. The House Oversight Committee is looking into these allegations. The Georgia State Senate convened a special committee to investigate this alleged misconduct. And now I'm hearing today, following publishing footage of this whistleblower tape, there's interest in figuring out, diving into that and getting to the bottom of those allegations as well. So, it's just, I mean, one positive piece of news for Fanni Willis, they got the divorce case settled at the last minute, but this it just keeps on piling up regardless.
Yes, it does. And what you just described, it sounds like there's more investigative bodies now looking into Fanni Willis than were looking into Donald Trump in the first place. And there's a lot looking into Trump.
Right. Yeah. It's just really quite remarkable that she would be this sloppy. And many were saying that she had the strongest case against Trump. It's a state case. He can't be pardoned from it, from the presidential pardon. And for her to act like this, it's just astonishing.
Now, because there's supposed to be some of that testimony, remember, like, as you mentioned, the Trump and his co-defendants, there have been motions filed to basically have her thrown off of this case, as well as her lover. And that's because of the impropriety of all of it. Do you expect? I've seen people say that it could be as early as this week she could step down from this case. Is that possible?
Well, from my perspective, I certainly believe that the writing is on the wall. So I've been working very hard to get my story out on Timpson's allegations.
Yes.
Because I think it could happen any day. So all the signs are there that her time in this office is not long. But she may try to stick it out. I don't know. But it's just when you have she's being beset by these allegations of misappropriating funds to finance her affair, and then we have a whistleblower with secret recordings that she got the district attorney on back in 2021. Admitting that, there's funny business going on in my office, and then firing that whistleblower less than 2 months later. I mean, that it doesn't get much worse than that, in my opinion.
No, not at all. Well, Andrew Kerr, thank you for bringing it to light, as you do with so many issues. Really appreciate your time and the excellent work of the Washington Free Beacon. Thank you, Andrew.